All right, this is case number 22-181969. This is Stephen Abernathy versus Nationwide Mutual Fire Insurance Corporation. The matter is before the court. Looks like I've got it set on as an adjourned pretrial hearing. All right, your appearance for Stephen Abernathy, or Stephen Abernathy, if you're here, please say something at this time.
Your Honor, Connor Clardy, P84485, appearing on behalf of Mr. Abernathy. Your Honor, I just want to make sure, is the case number 181060?
I'm looking at, let me look at the file here. 22-181969 is what I'm looking at.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Counsel. All right, and for Nationwide, please, your appearance at this time.
Good morning, Your Honor. Anthony Sinish on behalf of Nationwide.
All right, and just state your P number, if you will, at this time, Counsel.
Yes, 82128.
Thank you, Counsel. All right. Good morning to the two of you. I see I've got it set for a pretrial. It looks like this has been in front of me one time before, and I issued an order compelling a deposition. So somebody go ahead and update me regarding this matter, please.
Yes, Your Honor. We did go forward and take the deposition of Mr. Abernathy. He appeared, and at this time, what we're considering doing, we have a number of provider lawsuits that have been filed in various courts here, and so what we're thinking of doing is entering into a facilitation where Mr. Abernathy, along with any of the providers that would want to take part, all take part in one facilitation to see how many of the claims we could settle, especially because just to make sure, of course, because it's an MAIPF case, just in case there's any bills that are large that could get to that $250,000 limit. So it's easier for the parties to do it that way.
Ms. Clardy, that makes sense to you, sir?
That does make sense to me, Your Honor. I didn't have a chance to speak with brother counsel yet on that, but that does make sense. I would say that in looking at the amount in controversy, it does appear to have climbed above 25. So I don't know if Anthony and I should speak real quick about that issue, or if we just want to put it towards facilitation, then cross that bridge when we get there.
All right. Well, you certainly could take a moment in the breakout room. I think it almost seems to me that it's a good thing to explore the options that may resolve in a resolution and may indeed have some global impact on the other underlying issues or cases that may be connected to this. And so I don't have a problem with this court keeping the matter, although there's notice that there may be claims that are over the jurisdictional amount until that's formally set forth, and the court doesn't have to take any action in that regard. So what my inclination is to set this over and set it in February, and let me take a look at the traction that you've been able to get at that time, and then of course we can drill down on whether or not there needs to be a transfer of jurisdiction at that time as well. Maybe you got it settled in, maybe you're close enough, or maybe there's some things that I can weigh in on to help move this into a settlement situation as well. So I'm looking at February 22nd, 2/22/23 at 9:30 a.m.
That works for plaintiff, Your Honor.
That works for defense as well, Your Honor.
Right. Thank you, counsel. I will put a notation on the file that the case is likely being facilitated, and that the court finds good cause for adjourning the pretrial over till that date under those circumstances, and we'll revisit any other issues at that time. Good day to you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
The court calls at this time case number 22-189-625. This is PYOD LLC versus Namir Chaudhry.
Yeah.
Is before the court set on today regarding a pretrial conference. I know this has been in front of me before. There was an indication of a review of an affidavit that was outstanding. Your appearance for plaintiff in this matter, please.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Jamal on behalf of the plaintiff, B71254.
Good
morning, Judge.
Thank you, sir. For defendant in this matter, your name or your appearance on behalf of the defendant, go right ahead at this time. For Mr. Chaudhry, if you are on this Zoom, Mr. Chaudhry or counsel, say something at this time.
I already a case file on the police report is like 20 days ago, and send a copy.
Let me stop you for a moment.
He has an interpreter, Mr. Zangman. He's unmuted. The
Okay.
guy that's driving, that's his interpreter.
All right, just hold on a second here. Mr. Zayman, are you the interpreter or someone regarding this matter?
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Just state your name for the record, please, sir.
Judge, good morning. Syed Zaman, SYED, last name ZAMAN. I'm the court interpreter for Mr. Chaudhry Naimur.
All right, thank you, sir. What language are you interpreting for, sir?
Judge is Bangla, BENGLA.
All right, thank you. And
Yo,
do you solemnly swear or affirm that the statements that you will make and offer to the court will be based upon interpretation from English to Bangla and from Bangla to English to the best of your ability, so help you God?
yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So it appears that Mr. Chaudhry is in this Zoom.
I apnar record lagi apnar pura namta hoka.
My full name is Naimur, and first name is Naimur, last name is Chaudhry.
Naimur Chaudhry.
All right. All right, counsel, Mr. Jamal, what's going on here to the best of your knowledge, sir?
Judge, can you repeat?
Mr. Jamal?
Yeah, sorry, I was waiting for the interpreter
What's
there.
going on here to the best of your knowledge? I know that there was an indication that the defendant said this is not his account, and then there was something about an affidavit that was to be reviewed. Go ahead, sir, update me if you will.
Okay, I'm sorry, Judge. I don't know if the interpreter was going to speak or not, but I think I can make it pretty simple here. We have received the affidavit of fraud. We will proceed with a dismissal without prejudice at this point. And we can either submit that to the court under the 7-day rule, or we could have the court enter that today.
All right.
So, by Judge, apnar dikaisun je kita to tain hoira je apnar iku dismiss hoi jibo manor ka apnar tain judge saila askeu tai tain enter korta para tara kache report asile lai tara eta proceed korchil.
Okay, আমার কাছে পুলিশ রিপোর্ট আছে, আমি অলরেডি জমা দিয়েছি।
ভাই আপনি মাতুন না আপনি খালি উনুকা আপনারা কই মগালে মাতিবা।
Okay.
Do you understand that the case is going to be dismissed, sir?
আপনি বুঝছেন নি কেস ডিসমিস হই jibo?
জি, বুঝছি, yes.
Yes, I understood.
All right, very well. The court in this matter will issue an order simply dismissing the case where there's an affidavit of fraud. That dismissal will be without prejudice. So ordered.
So আমি উইদাউট প্রেজুডিস মানে কি তারা চাইলে আবার কেস খুলতে পারবো এগুলো কয় ইংলিশে উইদাউট প্রেজুডিস আমি ডিসমিস করলাম যেহেতু ইগু সঠিক না তাই বলিয়া।
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you. Judge, I'm good to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good day to you.
Bye. Loka ki loka koi loka. Assalamu
Okay.
alaikum.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Thank you. The court now calls case number 22-194-947. This is Adam Durham versus Corey Leverett, doing business as Schoolcraft Quality Used Cars. Now, the matter is before the court. It looks like I have this set on today for a pretrial conference Let's see, just one moment here. I have to set up for a status conference, I'm sorry. All right, do I have Adam Durham on this Zoom at this time?
Yes,
All right, good morning to you, Mr. Durham. I do see you there. Let me see if I have Corey Leverett. If you're on the Zoom, please say something, Mr. Leverett, or Miss Leverett, whoever it is, Leverett.
yes, we is.
All right, what's your name?
Corey Leverett.
All right, thank you, Mr. Leverett. Mr. Leverett, you do business at Schoolcraft Quality Used Cars, is that true?
Correct.
Okay, all right, so it looks like the lawsuit in this matter is alleging, just one moment here, a claim of $8,000 where the plaintiff says he purchased a vehicle, the starter and transmission went out, and that he wants $8,000. I see that when the vehicle was purchased, I do see the as is, no warranty, no warranty. Did you make any exception to that, Mr. Leverett? Did you offer some other warranty regarding this vehicle?
No, we do not, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Durham, I know it's just pretrial here, but you purchased a vehicle as is, and that usually means that you don't have any protection in this regard. Well, why is it that you believe that you somehow should receive some relief in this matter, sir?
Cause I'm on a low budget plan and I'm still paying for this truck. It's not fully paid for. I'm still paying notes on this truck. And I was just trying to see if he'd help get the truck fixed, and he told me no.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing here, sir, is that because you purchased the vehicle as an as-is purchase, it looks like you don't have any remedy there unless the defendant was willing to voluntarily do something to help you in that regard. But the law doesn't protect you under these circumstances where you purchase the vehicle in an as-is condition. Let me ask you, when did you purchase the vehicle? I'm looking at something, looks like sometime in July of this year. Is that correct, sir?
No, it was like August, yeah, somewhere along there, back there.
Okay, all right. And so
And it hasn't been running since then.
okay, so how long were you operating the vehicle before you discovered that there were problems?
1 month,
Is that right?
yes, 1 month.
So it didn't break down the same day when you drove it off the lot or anything like that, right?
No, the next following week it broke down.
You said it was a month. Let me ask you, how many miles does this vehicle have on it when you purchased it?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
All right. 1 second. All right, Mr. Leverett, how many miles did the vehicle have on it at the time of purchase?
93,000.
All right, and what year was this vehicle?
I don't have that information in front of me, Your Honor. I know it has about 90,000 miles when he purchased it.
So it's a 2005. So the vehicle is 15 years old when you purchased it. No, 17 years old, and some 90,000 miles or so. Yeah, I mean, you got to. It's Mr. Durham. The law doesn't give you any form of relief in this regard unless you and you haven't really played that unless you have some ability to plead that some fraud in the sale, and I don't see anything here that would give you that kind of relief. Your complaint says I bought the truck from a used car lot. I've been having problems since I first got it. I've only had it for about 2 months. I have to get the power spring fixed, new starter, and now transmission is gone. And I owe a car note, and he won't help me fix it. it would be good if you could get some help with this, but, Mr. Leverett and, Quality Cars, they're not required by law to do so. Unless they signed that vehicle, unless you made the purchase with a warranty. If they sold it with a deal of warranty, then you would have some recourse. You got anything in writing that shows me that they gave you a 30-day or 60-day or 90-day warranty or anything, that would help you out. But if you don't have that, you don't have a leg to stand on. You kind of bought it, you kind of purchased a car in the dark, and everybody took their chances and rolled the dice. That would be different if you were here today telling me that you drove the vehicle off the lot, and as soon as you drove it off the lot, it broke down in the middle of the street, and the engine went out and the transmission went out. That would mean that there was a condition existing on the vehicle that was known to the dealership, and they had a duty to disclose that to you before you purchased the vehicle. But for the car to start having problems afterward, that's likely to happen. It don't necessarily happen, but everybody take their chances when you buy an old car and you buy it as is. And that's the situation that you have here. So anything else you wanted to tell me at this time, Mr. Durham?
No, nothing else I can say. If there's nothing else you can do for me, I suppose.
You have the right. You have the right to a trial in this matter. And what the court tries to do is to take a look at these things to see what are the triable issues that exist in the case. And if I see that as is warranty, and if there was, you take, for example, you sign this as is, and then you go to the car and you get in there and start it up to drive it off the lot, and the car won't start, then clearly there is an indication that the dealership may have known something about the condition of the car. This is a situation where it's only later that you start having problems with an old car. If this was a situation where it was a newer car, you might be able to claim that they violated the lemon law or something. But this car is 17 years old when you purchase it, and you didn't purchase it with any warranty. So I would have to find that looking at this in a light most favorable to Mr. Durham, I don't see where under these circumstances, Mr. Durham would have the right to any relief at law under these circumstances. Given that reality, I'm going to dismiss the case. It will be a dismissal without prejudice. If you come up with another scenario that you believe might apply at law, then you could certainly refile the case and bring it back. If you have something else that you can show, some evidence that you can provide that somehow somehow you were defrauded. This doesn't seem like a case where you were defrauded. You took a chance on buying an old vehicle and you bought it with no warranty. So that's the situation here. So I'm dismissing it without prejudice, sir, which means you could refile it if you find something else to bring it back on. All right, that's my determination. You'll get an order from me in the mail in this regard. Good day to you. All right. This is case 22-242-808. This is Monique Teal versus Moles Advanced Tech Auto. Court previously set this matter over on a scheduling order. I granted a motion documents, and then I set the matter on a pretrial schedule with today being a pretrial conference date. All right, do I have Monique Teal on the Zoom? Monique Teal. Do I have counsel, or do I have counsel for Moles Advanced Tech Auto?
Yes, Your Honor. Scott Murdoch, P 46424, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Moles Advanced Tech Auto, Inc.
Thank you. All right, do I have, I'm looking for Monique Teal. Ms. Teal, if you're there, please say something. All All right, council, have you spoken with Ms. Teal recently? I know that there was some effort to get some discovery done in regard to this case.
Yes, Your Honor, I did receive documents and I can look and see, but it was as late as the last week that I did have an email with her checking again with her. She sent me some documents, although I did have them previously, and then discussing the matter with her just to ensure that she would send me anything she intended to introduce at trial in this matter. And she is not present. Your Honor, I would actually request, though, that this is the second time Ms. Till has filed. Her first case was 22-240009 GC that was filed, and then her case had previously been dismissed after actually we were, I think, just before we were set for trial in the matter, and for her non-appearance. And so I'm therefore respectfully requesting that this time her case be dismissed without, with prejudice.
All right, just one moment, sir. Did you hear anything, Madam Clerk, from the Steele this morning at all?
No, I haven't.
I can give you the case number if you'd like, again, Your Honor, the previous case.
No, I'm not interested in that. All right, the court has reviewed the file in this matter and notes that nothing has changed about the address that Ms. Till presented to the court in filing various responses to this matter and that address is an address on Liberal Street in Detroit. The court notified the defendant, the plaintiff to be here for this date. And the parties have in fact engaged in some discovery. I've looked at the notice that was given and has the correct Zoom number for entering into this hearing on today's date as well. And this matter was set on for 9:30. Ms. Till has not appeared. Notwithstanding the previous case that has been indicated to me as a dismissed matter, the dismissal that is requested here is grounded in the fact that Ms. Till is not here and not grounded in any of the underlying facts that may exist or may not exist regarding this case. I will grant the petition to dismiss the matter. Then that dismissal will be without prejudice. Obviously, if the defendant chooses to file another action, then the court the plaintiff can raise this issue at that time, and the court believes that under those circumstances that some form of cost or sanction will apply, given that the defendant has not appeared in this matter as directed to do so by the court. The matter will be dismissed without prejudice at this time. All right, thank you, counsel. Good day to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I assume the court will send an order on that.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good day. This is case number 22-243117. This is Britain Forum versus Chet's Pets LLC. The matter is before the court after being removed from the small claims division of this court and is set before this the general civil division now of this court. Your name for the record regarding Britain Forum, if you're on this Zoom, say something.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, good morning to you, Ms. Fordham.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, I'm looking now for counsel for Chet's Pets LLC. Anybody representing Chet's Pets LLC, please say something at this time. And I note that this matter was previously set on for the 1st of December, 2022. And just one moment. See that. Looks like it might have been adjourned that day. So you got something telling you that the case was going to be on the 1st of December. Is that correct, ma'am?
That is correct, sir. And I did show up, but the defendant didn't arrive, so they reset it for this day.
Didn't ask you all of that. Didn't ask you all that. Let me ask you this. How did you know to come here today on the 20th?
I received notification that that case was being forwarded to today, and that if the defendant didn't show, that it would be dismissed. I'm not dismissed, but I forgot the wording for it.
I guess you
With
want
some no.
I guess you want to tell me a
I'm
whole
sorry.
bunch of stuff. I guess you want to tell me a whole bunch of stuff that I don't ask you about. Okay, here's my point.
I'm
You
sorry.
say you got a notice regarding today's date. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
All right. All right. So I'm looking at my file, and that's what I needed to know was that you actually got another notice, because that would mean that the other side got another notice as well. Have you spoken with anybody from Chet's Pets between December 1st and today? Anybody spoke to you, or you spoke to anybody over there?
I have not.
All right. It appears now that that the defendants, after receiving due notice from this court and having filed to have it removed and put on this court's docket, it does seem that the defendant has not appeared before this court, although due notice was given for the defendant to appear. Accordingly, the defendant would be in default regarding the claim that is now before the court. And given that the defendant is in default, the court will now allow for consideration of entry of judgment on the default that is entered. Now, you filed a claim before the court indicating that you are alleging damages of $2,500, ma'am. What do you base that damage amount on? Tell me about that.
The pain and suffering. I don't know if you have all the pictures showing how they cut him up real bad. I had to take him to the vet.
Let me
He
stop you for a
suffered. He
moment.
was.
Yeah, let me stop you. Pain and suffering, that's not something that you can recover, pain and suffering on. Tell me what you're talking about first. Just assume that I don't know anything about what you're talking about. It seems to me that you're suing about an animal. Is that correct, ma'am?
That's correct. I took my dog, Amos, to be groomed that
So what
day.
happened, ma'am?
Well,
Yeah,
when I arrived there, I told them, they asked me what did I want. I told them I didn't want them to cut his fur down. I just wanted him to be shaped because I didn't want his fur cut short.
let
When
me stop. Let me stop. I'm not hearing you clearly. I heard you clearly earlier, so that maybe you moved away from your device or something. I'm trying to hear you a little bit more clearly. I heard you say that you went to the pet shop, and then you started telling me why you went there, and that didn't come out real clearly. So go ahead and start there, because I want to hear what you had to say. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I took him to past checks for grooming, and when I took him there, his fur didn't need to be cut low. I just wanted them to shape his fur because it was just the shape, so it'd be a nice shape. When I went back to pick him up, they told me it'd be 2 to 3 hours. He went to be bathed, completely bathed with groom washing, clipping his nails down, the whole grooming, and just be shaped, to shape his fur. They told me it'd be 2.5 to 3 hours before he'd be completed, and they would call me when they were done. Around 4 o'clock, that was a 1 o'clock appointment. At 4 o'clock, I called them to see if he was ready, and they told me that they had to rebathe him because he had pooped. They said he pooped on himself. And so when they said they would call me when he was complete. At 7:40 that evening, I got a text message for me to come pick him up. When I went to pick him up, he looked horrible, and he was cut all the way down to he was cut on his back paw was cut down where he had sores. They cut his scrotum. They shaved his stomach. He had cuts on his stomach, and I didn't know until I took him to the veterinarian hospital that they also cut his penis. And they cut around his eyes, and they shaved too low around his eyes where his eyes was irritated as well. I took him, the vet had to give me some antibiotic spray on him for his healing. When they gave him to me, they also told me, well, his fur is matted, you're going to have to comb him out. It took me from 8 o'clock that night to 12 o'clock in the morning to get all the knots out of his fur. And he was shaking so bad when I got him. I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's okay.
And it just bothered me to see him go through so much. I didn't rest well because I knew he was in a lot of pain.
I got you. So what type of dog is it, ma'am?
He's a 6 shoe.
And do you still have your dog?
I do. I have him.
Okay, all right. Yeah, man, I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's, and especially for a place that offers, supposedly offering care. That makes it that much more difficult because they're supposed to be offering care and grooming. It turns out like that. That's really not a pleasant experience. How much money did you pay them to do the service, man?
I paid. They when I went to pick him up, they said it was 50. I think it was 55. I don't have the exact amount on me in front of me anymore. But then they sent me that money back. They called me, told me we'll send your money back to you, and they sent that back to me. But in my opinion, they should never have took my money the way my dog looked.
All right, so they refunded your money. So you
They
went, you
refunded
went
that
to the,
money.
yeah, okay. All right, so you went to the veterinarian or you went to get some treatment for the dog. How much did it cost you to do that?
His vet bill. Okay, I don't have it in front of me. It was like 100. I had bills in a different location. I didn't have. I'm sorry. I should have had that with me. I didn't know I was gonna need it. But I know it was like it's his visit normally like 100. I think it's like 105, $110 somewhere around there. I did not.
You said, you said,
I'm
you
sorry,
said
John. I don't
five,
have it in front of me.
100 and something.
100, 100. His
Okay,
visit is
somewhere,
like 100.
okay, somewhere between $100 and $200 was what it cost you, correct?
Correct, sir. Correct, sir.
Okay. And how is your dog doing now?
Oh, he's doing much better. He's much happier. He's spoiled. Always, he's spoiled. He's good. I'm sorry, sir. I
Uh,
had to get all his fur shaved. I had to get all his fur shaved completely off to almost down to he was shaved real low, and that's grown back now. It's not the length I would like for it to be, but he looks like a healthy dog now. And his nails were they didn't clip his nails or nothing. They didn't do anything other than cut him, and he didn't even smell like he had been washed when I got him.
So is there any lasting permanent thing with him now, or has he fully recovered?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So you're definitely entitled to you're definitely entitled to damages, ma'am, and there because of course at law your dog, which of course is a family member at law, your dog is considered to be property, and when someone damages your property, you are entitled to recover basically for the damages that caused to your property and for any cost that you may have incurred. Those amounts have to be they have to be reasonable within the context of what occurred. How long
I
how long
understand.
days did you think that it take for your animal to recover from the situation?
I don't say, well, I know we were in, because this happened just before I left to go to Texas. I was getting him groomed to go on a road trip. And we were there for 2 months, and he, like I said, we had to shave all his fur off of him, and I was spraying that medication on him the whole time I was there for the 2 months.
And the medication was associated with the injury that occurred from the grooming shop, correct?
That's correct, sir.
So you said you had to take antibiotics for a couple of months. Is that what you said?
Well, I used it until I'm sorry, Jan. I used it until it was completely gone. Make sure that he had no because his skin is his genital areas as well, and I don't know how long it takes for that to heal. Or I just sprayed his whole underbody with it and his leg.
Okay, all right. And you think you may have used the antibiotic stuff for the whole 2 months or for 30 days, or how long do you think?
It's definitely 30 days, sir. It was a Betagen topical spray for affected areas, and I know I used it daily.
All right, all right, got it. All right, man. Well, your dog is very fortunate to have a owner like yourself that would not let this become
Thank you, Your Honor.
worse than what it already was. Because that is certainly an unpleasant situation to no animal should have to go through that. So as it relates to damages in this matter, in the first instance, I believe it seems to be that your costs incurred in this matter, together with what you had to pay the doctor to take a look, and the supplies of antibiotics and what have you, that those things together amount to about $300. In addition to that, the fact that the dog was that your property was damaged, and that damage seemed to be sustained for about a month period of time. That is something that you can recover on. I think the $2,500 amount is a little bit high, a little bit on the high end, man. I will award you $750 for the issues that the dog had over that period of time, plus the $300 for the.
Okay, your voice broke up, Your Honor, but I know I think I heard $750 was the awarded amount.
Yes, and $300 for the recovery of costs that you may have incurred in this matter. So the judgment would be for $1,050 plus your court costs in filing this case, and your service fee. You remember how much you paid to file your case?
This is the third court date I've had for it. The case was because I'm low income. The case was filed. I didn't have to pay for the filing of the case, but I did have to pay for the. No, I didn't have to pay for. I didn't pay for the filing. No, I'm sorry. That's another case.
You had to pay somebody to serve it for you, correct?
Correct. I believe that.
All right,
Was it this case? Let me look. I'm sorry, sir. I'm trying to see what did I have that charge on this particular case. No, I didn't have to pay anyone to serve them. I'm sorry. I did not pay for it. There was another case I had earlier this year. There was no serving charge, sir.
Gotcha. Well, my determination is that I'll award you a judgment, and that judgment will be in the amount of $1,050, and you'll get a copy of that in the mail from me in the next few days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wish you well, all the best to you, and I reiterate that I'm glad that your dog was fortunate enough to have someone like you, because something
Thank you
like
again, Your Honor.
some event like that can be the deterioration of the dog, and eventually how things just get worse and worse.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yeah, you were able to step in and kind of stop it. So all the best to you. I'll get this out to you right away. Good day to you.
Thank you again, Your Honor. Have a wonderful day.